Michael, it's that time of year again. It's WrestleMania season. This year, however, unfortunately, the other side of the country. You've been there many a times for pool tournaments or not, but Las Vegas, Nevada, the spot. Last year, we were in Philly. A little cold first night. Second night, man, I am so glad, not to sound like a mark out of the gate, that I was there for that game.
It's an experience that I know I'll never forget. I know that was our second Mania, because we also went to 35, but I feel like last year's was so much more eventful, and so many more memories were made, at least in the ring, and I know us watching it live, it just felt like, I remember 35, how drained we felt at the end of it, because it was one night. And with 40, it was split up into two nights. I felt like that's the best thing they ever could have decided to do.
Well, I'm still an advocate for one card, just less is more.
But it's WrestleMania. You're never going to get all that in one night, I think.
Some of this doesn't need to be on Mania. We'll get there. We will get there. There's still going to be some disagreements out of the gate. I can see which I'm digging this week. Michael, I will say, I think we went to the last Mania that didn't feel like a fucking marathon in a good way.
Well, I hope
35.
Yeah, like 35 was definitely, I think, the last of its era, and in a good way, it's gone.
And look, the way I put a tweet out last week, a lot of people gave me shit. Was shocker with female avatar pictures of wrestlers. That I was too hard on the main event. I said I was there live with you, and half that audience left. Yes, they did. A, it was cold. B, it was long. But C, more importantly, that main event, to me, in my eyes, had no incentive to stay any more than 8 hours.
Well, not just that, but the finish. It's not how you should ever finish a WrestleMania on a botched finish. Like, I think everyone was kind of confused, which is why there was the lack of pop for the finish. Like, that was it. That's kind of what we all thought, I think, at the end, for those of us that did stay.
Yeah.
And then the grand celebration afterwards, it just felt empty because
nipples.
It's all right.
Toes.
It just felt empty because we didn't get the finish to the match that we thought we should have gotten.
I do, and that's going to lead into this topic I do want to talk about before we get to the predictions that we forgot to talk about off air. Michael, I do want to say, man, you're sitting beside me this week. One mic, passing back and forth, lounging in the studio, how it should be.
We're going old school retro Slam Pigs this week, both in the studio at the same time. Doesn't happen often, but I'm excited.
And it's going to happen a whole lot more. And it may be 3 or so in the morning, but goddamn, I'm relaxed and comfy right now. So I don't know about you.
No place else I'd rather be at 3 a.m. right now.
I posed the question on the X Twitter machine the other day, and a bunch of you chimed in. Man, I want to hear this. Dying to hear your take on it. Is women's wrestling a draw in the United States of America? And I'll start, Michael, if you don't mind. I think it has the potential to be. I think the powers that be in both companies, hell, almost any company, sans one or two, is never going to look at it on equal playing field as it needs to be built around the men. Now, there is potential there. The match we just talked about, potential squandered. I think right now Rhea Ripley should go down. If I'm booking her, I'm going to make her go down as the greatest women's wrestler in the past 40 years because she has everything. She appeals. The girls want to be her and be with her, and the guys want to be her and be with her. She has the X factor that people like to throw around. She's got it. The only reason to me, and I know to you, Michael, you're about to say maybe she's run her course. That's not on her. I really don't think it is. As far as the AEW women, you want to take it?
The AEW women are more of an afterthought. I think that it would be a tough comparison to find any other large wrestling company in the world that has done a worse job with their women's division. This, to me, is how WWE used to treat the Divas division. But there's one problem here. These girls in AEW can actually work. And a lot of them can work really, really, really well if you give them the time and the build-up and the space on the card to get over. I think you'll see them get over more and get more interest from the fans, which, to me, To answer the question, is women's wrestling, is it capable of getting over in the United States? Yes. But it has its demographic, just like every other thing in wrestling. So I think you have to portray them a certain way, obviously, give them the spotlight, know who you want to back, who you want to focus on, your focal point of the division, i.e. a Rhea Ripley, a Toni Storm. I mean, you have Sasha Banks. I'm always going to call her Sasha Banks. But you have tons of talent over there in AEW, like Thunder Rosa, all those other girls.
Just lost first round.
Jamie Hayter. There's so much talent in that women's division. But it's the same problem they have with the men over there. They don't know what to do with all this talent.
No,
they've spaced out their shows so terribly that there's just not enough time for these people, because it feels like one week to the other they just have random matches that mean nothing.
Yeah.
So why would you ever want to get behind that? But to answer your question, yes, I think women's wrestling can get over in the United States. I think it does have appeal in the United States. You just have to do it properly. Like, we went to Mania 35 once again. The main event was the women.
Because the most over star in the company was a woman. Mm-hmm. Because of how she was booked, how she handled it, the botch, bloody nose. Everything she did was picture perfect in that time. Unfortunately, at the time, Vince McMahon just loved to milk and loved to milk until a character's not cool. And then we got to shit like The Man's Man with Seth Rollins. And then I checked the fuck out. And then it was, I'm from Star Trek. I'm Becky Lynch. What was that? It just completely lost the point.
The issue for me was the gimmick change, over and over again. I felt like it kind of reminded me of when Stone Cold decided to turn heel.
But it was the same gimmick, so to speak.
Yeah, but
imagine 1 year Steve Austin is Stone Cold Steve Austin. The next year he's like a fireman, and the next year he's this fashion model guy.
I get what you're saying, but still, his character in general changed a lot off that heel turn.
Right.
He went from ass kicker Stone Cold that never ran away from a fight to always has to cheat now. More comedically pleasing, I would say, as a heel. I thought he was funnier as a heel. But his match style, I thought, changed a lot because of the character that he was trying to portray, which I don't think did him any favors. Same thing with Becky Lynch. I felt like when she did her gimmick change and had that heel turn, when she was so over, I felt like it was unnecessary. There was more meat to eat on that bone.
Yeah.
And they did not take advantage of it, which is another thing that made her feel very stale and like a retread.
And I also think that bringing Rousey back, what was it, last year, the year before, to win the Rumble was a giant smack in the face to every woman that's busted their ass in that company year long. Yes, I know it's about stars. Rousey wasn't a star. Every week was worse and worse with that match with Charlotte, and it was exposed.
Well, I mean, first go around, absolutely a star from the jump. Her first match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, the tag match, probably stole the show that year at Mania.
Yeah, she wasn't exposed in that match, though. It was a tag match.
It wasn't so much about being exposed, but it was about people being like, wow, that was actually a really good match. We didn't expect that out of somebody who's never wrestled before.
Yeah.
And then I thought they did a great job in her first run, making her that unstoppable force to where it's going to take something really, really special to knock her off, which is what I think really helped make Becky Lynch. I don't think Ronda Rousey gets enough credit for being that unstoppable champion that you needed to get behind somebody. It's going to take somebody special on a special night, like they used to say, to knock that one off the mountain. And I thought they did that story really well. Unfortunately, we were there for the climax, and it ended up being lackluster with the finish.
Yes.
But Travis.
Yes.
Women's wrestling is alive. I think it's come a long way overall.
You didn't know that? Because every time I turn on television, there's a female wrestler holding a sign, a fan made, saying, women's wrestling is alive. Or a woman at a media scrum saying, oh, you guys don't like women's wrestling? Trust me, I'm fucking aware. Guys, the more you do that, it's not a good look. It's pathetic looking, to be honest. It really is. I'm sorry, that's my opinion on it. Please stop doing that. And while we're on the topic of wrestlers saying stupid shit, before we get to Mania predictions, had a little altercation with Miss 17 Retirements, Kylie Ray, the old leather wallet herself, made a fucking random tweet out of nowhere. Now, this is a mental health advocate, by the way, saying, To all these motherfuckers out of there, this isn't in context, but it's along the lines that are out of shape, do what we do, then you wouldn't chant you effed up as much. And I kindly responded, you ever said a movie sucked? How many films you directed? Sit down. I got almost 1,000 likes on that comment within an hour. And people didn't like me, trust me, because they're stands for women. A lot of wrestling fans nowadays aren't even stands. They're horny fucking losers behind keyboards. That's the hard reality. But you rational people, you understood because I was right. I don't tell fucking lies. I don't give a fuck if you're on television. I have no desire to be a fucking wrestler, to be in the business. But as a consumer, as my own brand, it is within me and Michael's rights to say whatever the fuck we feel on what we're giving our hard-earned money to. If you didn't like it, you should have chose to bag bags at Arby's.
Well, there you have it there. I totally agree. If you can't take criticism when you're in the national spotlight of any profession, you should not be doing that.
There's differences between like the stalker guy and Sonya Deville. I'm not advocating shit like that. You know what I mean? Don't stalk these guys at restaurants. Let them have somewhat normalcy lives. But to critique their fucking work that we're paying to watch, fuck out of here. And fuck you, Taz, for your little jib on commentary on Collision the other week saying, oh, I'd like to see the fans do it. Shut up. You fucking came up in the era of you fucked up chants for 30 years.
And he did plenty of it. But guess what? When I'm at work and I fuck up, somebody tells me I fucked up too. If I'm giving a table food and the food's wrong, did they make the food? No. But they have a right to say that the food was not done correctly. It's not how they wanted it. You know what? They're the ones paying for it, like you said.
Better example. If I'm a huge fan of any goddamn, let's just say AFI, top of my head, I love AFI. Let's say I go to an AFI concert and I got I should have, kept my expectations low. But you guys are in your prime. These guys are past their prime, still going out there. And I said the show sucks. Yes, I'm a musician. No, I've never been on that stage, but I paid money for them. So yes, I can say they suck. I don't have to go to the Juilliard Academy of fucking music to critique if a band sucks. Dixie Chicks, awful. Sorry, Michael.
It doesn't bother me at all. I've never been a Dixie Chicks fan, but I will say, in general, we live in America. We have the right to have an opinion about whatever the fuck we want to have an opinion about, especially if it's something that we're paying money for. So if I go and we can use many examples of this, like. I don't have to be a professional athlete, but if I'm watching, per se, our Baltimore Orioles, and one of our players is 0 for his last 27, and I decide to say, God, he's fucking sucking right now, guess what? I'm not a professional baseball player. Yes, I played baseball. I pay to watch them play baseball. So if you're having a rough time, I'm sure you probably don't need me to tell you you're having a rough time, but I'm still going to voice my opinion like, hey, go sit him on the fucking bench until he figures it out.
But of course, Kylie Ray never rides alone because Miss Head of the Unemployment Line herself, Gail Kim, chimed in and co-signed her bullshit. Man, it must be boring being unemployed. Next, Mania predictions. That's right.
There you have it, folks. Off the coattails of that little segue.
We do want women's wrestling to succeed. Just so we make that clear. We do.
Well,
just fucking do it right. An 8-year-old girl can make this shit right.
Well, speaking of 8-year-olds, match 1 of night 1 is one of the most anticipated for my 8-year-old. May not be for the rest.
I thought you were going to say Dominic Mysterio.
No, but it may not be.
12.
It may not be one of the most anticipated for the fans up until recently. Travis, match 1 of night 1. I'm looking here at the WrestleMania match card that has been posted. Now, if this order isn't correct by WrestleMania night, please don't come in the comments, well, you didn't say the match is in the right order. Well, I'm just going off of what they're giving me.
Guess what? You're never going to kiss a girl either.
But anyway, match 1, night 1 for the World Heavyweight Championship. It is Jey Uso challenging the champion Gunther. Now, Travis, I know we went over this before, I think on our last episode, about how lackluster we thought this feud was. I think a lot of people have voiced that opinion.
It finally cooked. It took a long enough time. It was one segment. But at the end of the day, Jey Uso's tried and lost before. Bloodied his brother. Will we see this unhinged sign? Jey Uso's your winner. Sorry.
You sound excited for that, as Jey Uso is going to be your world heavyweight champion.
Gunther deserved not only a better opponent, considering that awesome triple threat match he had 2 years ago. Hell, the match with Sami Zayn was great. This could be a pretty decent match. My high hopes aren't up there, but it's the best you got for Gunther for Mania.
Well, who would you have put him with?
Jesus Christ, man. The list goes on and on and on. CM Punk, John Cena.
Do you think Gunther is to the level now of a draw to where he should be put with those people? Do you think this is why maybe WWE put him with a Jey Uso, because they're still both kind of finding their way? I'm not saying that Gunther isn't talented or one of the best workers in the world, but by draw, neither one of these guys are what you would call the people that are getting the fans into the building. I think probably Jey Uso more than Gunther, but it's Gunther's job to be a heel.
I think Jey Uso, in my opinion, to completely disagree with all due respect, is one of the driving forces to getting children to talk to their parents into coming into buildings. This is cool to them. If I was a child right now, I'd probably think Jey Uso was my favorite wrestler too. It looks fun to do, to see that, and it's an amazing spectacle. The tribute to Macho Man glasses, that's awesome. I just think Gunther, I don't think he's going to be damaged goods after this. I don't think he's made to the level of where you're saying he's a top guy. I think he's made to the fact that in the long run, he's going to be okay. You know what I mean? And if anything, they're going to look back on this, and when they release the autobiography of Gunther on Peacock, he did the right thing and put Jey Uso over him when he was leagues below his level.
Well, like I'm saying about Gunther is, in my opinion, knocking on the door of being in that top 5 as far as who should be in a main event of every WrestleMania. But I feel like he still needed one more year, and Jey Uso has definitely been the hot commodity with the younger audience. I guess other than our buddy LA Knight, who has really gotten over more in the last year than Jey Uso.
Let me throw you a complete curveball that probably won't happen. Over the past couple months, we've seen Bill Lumberg. We've seen Gunther treat
Ludwig
Kaiser like complete shit. Complete shit. He kind of went a smidgen babyface with that Stratton promo. You know, his memes were on point. Does he help Jey Uso beat Gunther? That gives Gunther and Kaiser some great matches going into the summer. Eventually down the line, we had Gunther with somebody way more interesting.
I mean, I think we could definitely speculate on what would be some great matchups for Gunther in the future. Some mouth-watering matchups, I would say. But I'm going to go, first of all, I agree with you. This feud was totally lackluster until 2 weeks ago.
That was a great segment.
This just goes to show once again, this is Triple H's idea of long-term storytelling.
That segment could have fit in 97, not to cut you off.
Well, the long-term storytelling, it's in itself before that of how we were all bored because the same things were happening week after week after week. But come to find out, this was all to set up for the real punchline in this storyline when you had Jimmy really take a beat down, a really graphic beat down for 2025 WWE. To really kind of set fire to this feud a little bit.
Has that ever happened before where like a guy lost to the same guy a month before winning the Rumble to meet the same guy at Mania? I don't think that's ever happened.
No.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I think this match has added a little more intrigue in the past few weeks with the story. And I'm going to go opposite with you here. I think Gunther retains. I think it's going to have something to do.
God, I hope so. God, I hope so. I'm not a big fan of making kids cry, but Jey Uso just isn't on that level. I'm sorry. And then where do you go from here with Jey Uso? What do you do with it? It can't be a long reign. Excuse me. I'm tired, guys.
Well, I would kind of see the way you were going with Kaiser to turn on Gunther. I look for Jimmy to do another turn on Jey.
Do we need?
Well, magically, cool after WrestleMania, it seems like. And I think after Jimmy taking the beat down, I think there could be some incentive there for him to be a little upset with Jay.
Or, let me tell you this. What if Sammy turns on Jay? Heel Sammy.
I love it. I like that. We haven't seen Sammy since the street fight with Kevin Owens.
What would be the reason, though? Jealousy? Just that lazy booking?
Sammy can be a great heel or face. So anything that has Sami Zayn in it, I'm interested in right now. He's one of my favorite guys. Really a shame he has nothing on this card.
Maybe it's it is a shame. Maybe it's a simple case of Jay wins the belt. Oh, it lets him go to his head. He kind of says hi to Sammy backstage, but not the way he used to. He didn't embrace him. It was kind of just a rush job. And weeks of that, we keep seeing shots of Sami Zayn as Jay walks away with like supermodels and this entourage, and Sammy's like, I have a t-shirt. And it just, he has enough. I think that could be great. That's, you know what? Fuck it. Do it.
Book it.
I want to see that now.
Same. All right.
That's why you guys listen to this fucking show.
We'll just book it for you. All right. Well,
Pizza Hut style.
That's kicking off night one. Travis and I are opposite ends here. He thinks we're going to have a new world heavyweight champion. I think that Gunther retains. But we'll see what happens on WrestleMania Night 1. Next up, match 2 of Night 1. Another title match, Travis.
God.
And another feud that has been rocky, to say the least, both on screen and off screen. This is probably the most drama-fied match that we have coming into WrestleMania, as in, are they going to be able to work together and stay professional in that ring when we've heard all of the gossip going on backstage? I'm talking about none other than Tiffany Stratton, Tiffany time, defending against the Women's Royal Rumble winner,
the Puerto Rican legend,
Charlotte Flair.
She looks Puerto Rican. Sorry.
So what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that. The woman has just turned Puerto Rican. You win a belt, get a divorce, get a surgery. Win a belt, get a divorce, get a surgery. Yeah.
Yes, you did send me that meme the other day.
In a perfect world, the right thing to do, without a shadow of fucking doubt, Stevie Wonder could see what to do here. It's time to give it to your predecessor. Tiffany Stratton may not be amazing on the mic. She's also 25. Yes, Charlotte, it's squeaky, and I'm glad that's one of your 2 fucking awful comebacks this week. This woman has been doing this since what? 2013?
At least.
On the grand stage, 2015. She let one fucking Chicago crowd throw her off and eat her alive viscerally, like it was nothing to the fact that things had to be edited, because she went to the low-hanging fruit and said a Kaiser DM, which nobody believes. Come on. This was her being owned. And you know what? Good for Tiffany Stratton, because the week before in that sit-down interview, Charlotte Flair talked all over that girl. Now, I don't know if this is a work shoot.
No, reportedly she said some things that were not supposed to be said or scripted, and she caught a lot of heat for that.
Right.
So reports were that the next week, when she gave Tiffy the final word, Tiffy said, I got some receipts for you.
Yeah.
And that's how that started with the, you're going to be just like you always end up alone.
My question is, when's enough? Because it seems like at least once for the past every 2 years, Charlotte Flair has an on-air, can't ignore it, problem with a woman in the ring. The Nia Jax match, when Jax had the afro, that was a close one.
When they were throwing real shots in there, I remember that match.
The way that she just has talked all over numerous.
How about the Becky Lynch thing when they were switching belts and she decided to not give Becky the belt when they were supposed to be switching them, handing them to each other.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. How could I forget? And this one may not be as her fault, but she had enough stroke by 2019 to say, hey, you know what? Ronda and Becky don't need me in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't know how much say she really had in that. I think that was a Vince thing.
But she could have said something.
Well, I mean,
now,
are you going to say that? Like, if they offer to put you in the main event of WrestleMania, you can say,
not.
I don't belong there.
No,
I think they should just do it.
In Charlotte Flair's defense, had one of the best matches I've ever seen at a WrestleMania with 2 women with Rhea Ripley a few years ago, and she put her over clean. And that's, That's saying something. I mean, do we just have Charlotte Flair right or wrong? Is she a master work shoot promo? Is that what this was? Did WWE cut off the tail end of that to make us think something's more there than is really not? That's the beauty of wrestling.
Or does Charlotte, is she of that old school mentality where going off script, does she think she's going to get the best out of her opponent that way? Maybe she's working everybody. Who knows?
Charlotte Flair is currently WWE's Moxley. Paul Levesque is having a hard time differentiating X-Pac heat, which is go away heat, to wow, they're generating heat. And whoever's going to beat them, man, it's the same thing with Moxley. It's go away heat. At this point, we'll have Speedball Mike Bailey win the world title and the fucking fireworks will go off. It's just got to come off Moxley.
All right. That sounds good. Speedball?
I'll take it. I like him. I liked him in TNA. Wish the boy would invest him in some shoes, but...
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about AEW some more here later on. But who you got winning this match, Travis? Is it going to be time? Or is Charlotte going to get her, is it 16th title, I guess?
It's going to be Tiffy time.
I agree. I think it's also going to be Tiffy time. I think she will retain. I don't see any reason for Charlotte to need to win this match. I don't think it does anything for her or Tiffany Stratton. I see Stratton hopefully going on for some more interesting feuds with other women. Maybe getting moved to Raw. Maybe they do a shakeup. You're getting some fresh meat in there with her, some new storylines. I think Charlotte would do much better maybe not being such a focal point all the time, which is why everyone wants to hate you. Yeah, this is such a retrend. Charlotte comes back, she wins a title. Charlotte wins a title. Charlotte wins a title. Why?
Charlotte needs to go down to NXT and elevate, or just star on LFG.
I don't think you're going to see that happen. I think Charlotte's way too good to get thrown down NXT. No offense to NXT.
I will say one thing: Rhea Ripley needs to be on SmackDown this year.
Well, with Raw being on Netflix, good luck with that. Your number one female talent is not going to the B show. Yeah. But
Tiffy time.
Yeah, we're both on Tiffy for this one. Let's go to
easy wording.
Oh, sorry. I'm not on Tiffy.
Kaiser's going to be in our
DMs.
DMs.
I don't want Kaiser in my DMs either. All right, next we're going to continue this train.
Let's do it.
Night one, third straight title match coming up for you next. This time it's the tag titles, Travis. Mm-hmm. Maybe the most lackluster feud out of the entire card here. The War Raiders defending their their I guess it's Raw tag team titles, whatever they call them. They will be going against the newly formed New Day. The New Day, as you want to call it. Travis, what have you thought of this build-up, and who you got?
This could have just been a match on SmackDown or main event, but there's a reason it's on WrestleMania. And this is one of those matches where at first you're like, do we need this? But by the end of it, you're like, yeah, we needed that because Big E's helping the New Day win the belts.
Well, there you have it, a hot take from Travis. My whole thing with this is I feel like this has been done kind of quickly, but kind of slowly at the same time. Like when New Day turned on Big E, that feels like forever ago. Mm-hmm. But that was when they were getting their most attention. Then you just saw them; they kept losing on TV, and nothing was really happening, or they just wouldn't have a match, or stupid little stuff.
And so I think in kayfabe, they've learned along the way that we really do need Big E, and there's been amends made behind the scenes, and a new attitude for Big E. And we didn't start as baby faces. We started taking what we wanted.
I mean, I like where you're going there. I think
we hurt people. Wait, that's another company.
Yeah, that's not the correct one there. But anyway, I'm on board with you on this one too. I don't think there's any reason for the War Raiders to retain. They've been.
Can I ask you? Do the War Raiders do fuck all for you?
That's what I was just getting ready to say. I think they've been about as lackluster of champions as you could ask for.
Don't get me started on fucking Vanilla Ice Cream or whatever her name is, Valhalla.
Vanilla Ice Cream. So that's what we're gonna call her from now on. She's another one that could use some shoes. But, yeah.
He's another one that could use a release.
And we're talking about from the company, guys, not a sexual.
We still like women's wrestling.
But yes, the War Raiders have been very lackluster. I don't think there's been any interest from most fans in the War Raiders, especially as baby faces.
Not since New Japan.
Yeah,
War Machine.
I feel like they killed a lot of them.
That was 10 years ago.
When they came up in NXT. Remember when they called them the Viking Experience?
Thank you for reminding me of that. It's like a bunch of Vikings and Jimi Hendrix tribute band.
It just sounded like a weird porn.
It just sounded like Vince McMahon all over it.
Just feel like you're going to see some chick get boned by a bunch of Vikings.
That's quite the experience.
That's right. I mean, maybe I'm taking it too far there.
Hey, you know what? If it's not Vanilla or Valhalla, I'd peek.
All right.
I'd have a peek.
Well, we're both on board here. I think the New Day...
We're both on board with a peek if it's not Valhalla. That's great.
The New Day is going to be your new tag team champions. All right, Travis, on to the next match here. Singles encounter, no belts on the line. But this is more important than a belt, Travis. This is for the integrity of the luchadors. We have the luchador himself, the greatest luchador of all time, Rey Mysterio, going against newcoming luchador, El Grande Americano.
Is this mask versus mask?
I don't see it here.
Just
no.
a regular match?
I think it's just a regular match here.
This
is for the integrity, like I said, of the luchadors.
If it's not mask versus mask, El Grande Americano all day. You do follow-ups this summer, maybe a mask versus match. That's how you get back to Gable. And, you know, during the course of the months, you see Mysterio backstage, LWO's so disappointed, want nothing to do with him. He's kind of not a Baron Corbin, but a lone wolf luchador until he runs into Penta and Phoenix. Hey, man, you're a hero, man. You gonna let this Chad Gable get to you like this? You've been in this for 40 years. Nope.
All right. Travis doing some long-term booking here. I'm kind of on the fence on this one, but if I had to pick, I think this is just a short-term storyline. And I think this is going to be the payoff here. I think Mysterio is going to go over. I think he's going to pull off the mask. We're going to see it's Chad Gable, and we'll just move on from there. I think this is one of those feel-good moments, I guess, after the New Day wins the tag belts and brings the crowd down. Got to bring him up a little bit. Let the luchador get his comeuppance on, especially the way it's been booked on Raw. El Grande Americano is winning every fucking match.
I'll tell you this, too. Would you say the Viking Raiders losing the belts to the New Day would get not a pop if Big E's reunited and it's a new attitude, New Day? It's the Viking Raiders.
It's the War Raiders.
Los Conquistadors got a bigger reaction than the Viking Raiders. War Raiders.
Yes. So War.
What is it good for?
All right. Well, there you have it. Next match, another singles encounter.
Absolutely jobbing. Sorry.
Another one that has no belt on the line. This one's a personal grudge match. We've got the newly heel Naomi taking on a WrestleMania newcomer, Jade Cargill. Mm-hmm. Travis, what have you thought of this feud? And I guess I'll ask who you think's going to win, but I think everyone's kind of universal on this one.
As much as Twitter and the internet have hated the promos, they felt very real to me. Whether they make me want to boil my ears in hot water or not, the screeching and the, it's come off very real. Naomi is going to lose this match, but Naomi is going to do something this match so uncharacteristic, Naomi, that's actually what you're going to be talking about coming out of the match more than Jade Cargill. So,
you want to let us in on what that is?
I don't know. I don't want to say it's a stunt. It's going to be something big that you're going to walk away. No one's going to a year from now. No one's going to remember that Jade Cargill won. It was, wow, did you see what Naomi did in that match? It was kind of like when Edge beat Mick Foley through a flaming table. Nobody really remembers that Edge won that match. They just remember Mick Foley going through the fucking flaming table. So
we remember who won that match, but we're nerds.
All I hope is Cargill doesn't have two left feet for this. It's been long enough. For the love of God, don't give her a mic. She's degressing again. I'm just glad Nia Jax isn't on this card. I hope these two women tear it out of the park. I have more interest in this match than Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest.
Well, there you go. We'll get to that match later, but I kind of agree with Travis on this one. I definitely think Jade Cargill's going over. I'm kind of torn on whether it's just going to be kind of a glorified squash match or if it has the potential to be something to where it's memorable. My head tells me probably going to be more of a glorified squash match. Showcase match for Jade Cargill, as you can definitely see the WWE train is fully behind her. They are really trying to make her a real big star around here. Naomi's in there because she's a veteran. She can work, and it gives Jade some legs, build a platform, have her first WrestleMania match against someone who's probably... When's the last time Naomi had a singles WrestleMania match? Was it back in her home? Was it when it was in Orlando when she won the belt?
Was that a multi-woman match? No, that was not... No, I can't remember.
I'm not sure either. I want to say she beat... Not Alexa Bliss. Who did she beat? But I think it was a singles match, but it was in her hometown. She won the belt. This is her first WrestleMania singles match since then. And I believe that was WrestleMania 33. So we're 8 years later here.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for Naomi. Get a singles WrestleMania match. I'm excited to see what they try to do with this match. I'm excited to see what Jade Cargill can look like in a full singles match with someone like a Naomi. So, yeah, it's a good filler match for me. But I definitely have Jade Cargill going over.
Yeah, that's it's got to be.
All right.
Why are we even here?
Semi-main event of night one, Travis.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Or no.
We're hoping not, no. But we have U.S. champion, LA Knight.
Yeah!
Yeah! Going 1-on-1 with...
I love you, Solo.
Going 1-on-1 with one of the fastest rising stars of the year, Travis. The newly, do we want to say independent, Jacob Fatu?
One of my top 3 performers in the entire world right now.
Big Jacob Fatu fan?
Everything about him is just believable.
This is a tough match for us, Travis, because we got our hometown boy in LA Knight.
These are my 2 favorite guys going head-to-head in Mania this year. I think we came to agreement there's going to be a schmoz to help LA Knight, retain. You said Solo Sikoa and Tama, officially turning their backs. Maybe there's so many of them. Maybe Fatu is smarter than he looks, and he kind of sees that coming. So first it's Tama Tonga. He sees that coming from a mile away. He's blindsided by the spike, but he catches it just in time, right? Solo. So then, Knight's ready, slim for the pickings. I'm sorry, guys, I'm tired. 12-hour shifts. All of a sudden, we see an arm from under the ring. Hold LA Knight. It's Naomi, the newest member of the Bloodline. She's having problems with Jimmy. That is why people are going to talk about Naomi more than Jade Cargill at the end of this.
You just made that up just now, didn't you?
I did not. Just
thought of it.
Just came to me.
This is how the match is going to end. I love that. He's just picking stuff out of the sky right now with his predictions. I like it.
And even more sympathy on LA Knight. LA Knight can't hit a woman. What does LA Knight have to do? He has to find a tough as nails, take no fucking nonsense gal to have his back.
Valhalla.
No. And who would that be? Who could that possibly be? A woman?
We're talking about a certain man?
I'm talking about a certain Australian beast we've yet to see on the main roster. Saria.
Oh.
She's ready. That woman's been ready for 20 years.
I thought you were going Becky Lynch there, where Becky Lynch makes her return somehow to help LA Knight. Yeah, but probably not. I like the fantasy booking there. So who do you have actually winning the match?
I have Jacob Fatu winning the match. When you think all the bloodline have turned, Naomi.
Well, there you have it. I'm going the other way. LA Knight, is going to retain.
Yeah.
He's just getting legs under this second U.S. title reign, and it ain't stopping here tonight, baby. I think everybody's jumping on the Jacob Fatu bandwagon. Clear setup for me. Everyone's going to be putting money on Jacob Fatu. My money's going on the hometown guy, the megastar himself, LA Knight. I think Solo is going to interfere. He's going to cost Jacob the match. It's going to set up their feud after WrestleMania. And then on to hopefully bigger and better things for our boy LA Knight. Hopefully he gets put in that main event picture, even as the U.S. champ, with or without the belt. I think it's time. I think we're past time for him. I think he needs to be up there working with the Seth Rollins, with the CM Punks, those kind of guys, with the Gunthers. I think that would be a great feud for him.
It's way overdue. Saudi Arabia derailed that shit so much. It's so rushed.
I agree. But
it's time. He should be winning the Rumble next year. If they do the right thing by him, because the fans aren't stopping for him. If anything, in Europe, my God. We got one more, don't we, baby?
We got a main event in night one, and we know what it is. It's the triple threat, maybe the most intriguing match of the card as far as hardest one to pick a winner. You've got Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus first-time
like Mussolini
versus first-time Mania main eventer himself, CM Punk.
And Kennedy.
Well, Travis, what have you thought of this feud, this build-up, and most importantly, who you got winning this one?
And I know we're not here to talk Cena and Cody on this episode, but...
Well, we will.
Oh, is that tonight?
Yeah, this is night one. We still got night two to go over.
Are we taking a break after this?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Thank God. I was trying to kill me after a 12-hour shift. This match will be really good. And it's... What?
This match will be really good.
Well, it will. I think they're going to stick out.
I just like the way you said it.
So I think that we're going to have tons of, in the beginning, slow mythological heat with Roman and Heyman banter, Punk smiling. Finally, Rollins picking up the pace, going, "Come on, I'm here too. Yay, John." And he's just going to... You're going to see many spots where Punk and Roman just kind of... What the girls did to Io Sky, pie face him down and stuff like that. It's going to be a back and forth match. But by mid-match, Rollins, it'll be a triple threat. Rollins will be getting his shit in. Everybody will be getting their shit in. False finish. Outstage brawl. Maybe something crazy off something when it comes down to it. Rollins takes out Roman Reigns with the curb stomp. Okay? All of a sudden, Paul Heyman's like, oh, you know, that shocked look he does on the apron.
Yeah.
All that's left is CM Punk and Rollins. Rollins gets a little too cocky. CM Punk's out on his feet, possibly concussed, lifts, hoists up Rollins for GTS. Feels his feet being grabbed. His feet being grabbed are by his best friend Paul Heyman, distracting him enough for Rollins to hit a pedigree and hit the 1, 2, 3. Now, this does not mean that Paul Heyman is now the new manager of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins tricked Paul Heyman into a favor, and being a man of his word in his older age, that was the favor. You guarantee me to win the match at WrestleMania. And then the fallout with Punk, the fallout with Roman, you can get weeks and weeks in television off of both of that. As far as... I don't know. As far as it hurting Roman Reigns, I think he's impenetrable. I think, dare I say, Punk is impenetrable. Rollins, you can still fuck up. There's still, you can. That's what I would do.
Oh, I like it. I'm kind of with you on. I don't think it's going to hurt Roman as long as Roman isn't the one taking the pin.
Right.
I don't think you'll see...
No, Punk's taking the pin.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see Roman take the pin here. He's either winning the match or he's not going to be...
He's going to do sidebar.
Or he's not going to be the one getting pinned.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in a different direction here, though. I think it's going to be CM Punk. I think there's been so much build up about it being his first WrestleMania main event. He's had all these storylines where he came so close in the Royal Rumble last year and the year before. Of course, had the injury 2 years. Well, I guess not technically 2 years ago, but you know what 2 Royal Rumbles ago. Cody's first Rumble win, or second Rumble win. I'm sorry. I'm tired also, but yeah, I think I'm putting my money on CM Punk getting the 1, 2, 3. I think Paul's gonna act like he's helping Rollins, and he's gonna trick Rollins. He's gonna do something here where it's an old trick where only CM Punk and Paul Heyman know what's going on, and I think you're gonna see You're gonna see Heyman. They're gonna cut to him when it looks like he's helping Seth Rollins, and he's gonna look at Seth Rollins and say, "I owe you nothing." And that's when you see CM Punk maybe with a dirty finish, maybe a low blow into something where it's a little heelish, but it gets the crowd to pop.
Yeah,
I think by this time Reigns will be out on the floor somewhere. Maybe he took a really nasty spot through some tables or whatever.
Selling finishers amazing lately, like Dead, that GTS Roman took.
Yeah,
he's just perfect. The only reason I said what I said is because back when you remember when Heyman first turned on Punk and it was Curtis Axel and Cesaro. I don't think we got Ryback on. I don't think we got a proper, besides the Brock match, a proper finale to that. And there's so much more potential with that. So for, Heyman helping Rollins win, not managing him, Heyman is no longer advocating Roman either. Because future always moves forward. So Punk's next adversary will be the newest Paul Heyman guy, Braun Breaker. That's the night after Mania.
I mean, we've seen that kind of play out on segments here in the past few months where
I don't think that's for no reason.
Heyman introduced himself. He's made it very vocal that he is a Braun Breaker fan. He's talked about how much he's helping him backstage, giving him advice. You've seen it on screen as well with introducing himself to Braun Breaker months and months ago. Just kind of little small interactions. Braun Breaker right now I don't think would make as much sense for me. I think there's got to be some. I think you'll see him go back with Roman after all is said and done. After all, Roman didn't lose the match. Roman wasn't pinned.
Right.
The one person he has no loyalty to in this match, technically, is Seth Rollins. Even though Seth Rollins says he owes him a favor, he never agreed with Seth Rollins that he owes him a favor, and he has no loyalty to Seth. After all, Seth Rollins has tried to kill his 2 favorite people.
Yeah.
So why would he be loyal to Seth Rollins? I think you're going to see CM Punk getting the 1, 2, 3 here, going 1 for 1 in his WrestleMania main events.
Yeah, I could see either way. I think if Roman Reigns, specifically, if anybody needs a shift for just a completely different storyline, the night after Mania, since he's rumored to be back, Roman's out there, acknowledge me, lights go out. Aleister Black shows up. The real Aleister Black. Not this Malachi Trios titles fucking bullshit. And that could be Roman out of the picture. And we get some great matches out of it.
Or it could be a certain day of the year. A certain day that happens every day of the year. And what day is that, Travis? Rusev Day.
Wednesday?
It's Rusev Day.
See, I was never big into Rusev. I liked Miro more than Rusev. The Redeemer.
I don't. I love Rusev. How much Rusev fucking history do we have on this show?
Well, we'll see how long he lasts. We'll see how much of a malcontent he is here. If he was in AEW.
Used to be a running joke on here, Rusev.
Apparently him and CJ Perry are back together. She's coming with him as Lana.
I heard opposite.
That's not what I heard.
I heard that she was not with him during negotiations.
And by the way, Andrade, just go to a couple classes. Learn. Just learn English, and you got it. There's it's nobody's holding you down. You're holding yourself down. Sorry, I had to say it.
Well, he was married to Charlotte. He doesn't speak good English?
He was managed by Zelina Vega, and it was perfect. And he'll never top that. That's all I got this week.
That's Aleister Black's woman.
It's wrestling. They're friends.
You think you'll see Zelina Vega with Aleister Black?
I would absolutely love to.
Well,
I would like to see a House of Black done WWE style with guys like maybe even the Wyatt Six fade away, like they start losing matches and then they say stuff like, we did Bray Injustice, and I would love to see a Dexter Lumis with Alexander Black.
Alex Black and then Alexander Black. Man, you are sleepy. Aleister Black is his name.
Who's Alex Black?
I don't know. You're the one that said it.
That's going to be a porn star, isn't it?
Alex Black.
Oh, that
but there you have it.
A tired laugh right there.
That's night one. You'll get the big pyro for somebody in this triple threat.
Hey, and before we get here, I want to shout out our friend Dominic Sparcia, a.k.a. DJ Storms. We are headed your way May 31st. Not Rochelle Park, New Jersey. It's up there. On part 2, I will get the official address out. But yes, thank you. We'll be there. Front Row Slam Pigs are going off the rails for his show, Off the Rails. Can't wait to check it out, Michael.
I'm excited. Get to see some nice local independent, well, not local to us, but some good independent wrestling out there without the hands of WWE, without the hands of AEW, without anyone really sticking their hands in the money pot here. We get to see some good independent wrestling with a guy who's given us a great chance to have great access with everyone. We're gonna get to meet the people. You said, Travis, some of the guys.
Possible. Work out the kinks when we get there. Don't want to divulge too much here, but yes, thank you, Dominic Sparcia, ECPW Wrestling. I'm sorry I messed it up. Check it out, May 31st, Off the Rails event. Cannot wait. Their last show they had Crowbar from WCW, so
that's awesome. Should we bring the microphone just in case? I mean, we might need to get some of these guys on record.
I feel like we do a little pre-show Slam Pigs meet and greet.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We could be looking at future stars right in front of our eyes, up close and personal.
Yeah.
Who better to get the first scoop with some of these guys than the Slam Pigs?
Until then, hey, this wasn't the best show, but at least it wasn't AEW Dynasty. I'm out of here. Until then, follow me on Twitter at Reset Button Pod and at the Slam Pigs Pod. Catch us over there. Michael, anything?
From my lips to your ears, I just want everyone to know. Oink!